Picture this, a government passes a law claiming it's protecting children online. Sounds good, right? Except buried in that law is a power grab that monitors anything and everything its citizens do online. They can force messaging apps to break encryption. They can track every financial decision you make. They can monitor every conversation you have with AI. This isn't some dystopian future. This is happening right now. The UK, Australia, Canada, the United States, the European Union, they're all implementing systems that China could have only dreamed of a decade ago. And if you think this is just about safety, you're about to discover the real agenda. Every single day, governments around the world are building a surveillance infrastructure that would make George Orwell rewrite 1984. They're calling it online safety. They're calling it protecting democracy. They're calling it preventing misinformation. But what they're really building is the most comprehensive system of social control in human history. The UK's Digital Safety Act can force every messaging app to install a government backdoor where they can read everyone's messages and their social media is linked to their identity. So let's say I did something bad, they can now find my identity, link my identity to my social media, and read all of my private messages instantly. Australia's digital ID system is planning to track every single online move. Central bank digital currencies will monitor and control every dollar you spend. And AI companies, they're handing over your private conversations to anyone with a court order. This isn't about technology companies collecting data for ads. This is about governments using the cover of safety to implement surveillance systems that would put China's social credit score system to shame. And the most terrifying part is most people have no idea it's happening. Because while everyone's arguing about social media algorithms, governments are quietly passing laws that eliminate privacy entirely. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how Western democracies are building digital authoritarian states and how the system was already perfected in Beijing. 600 million cameras, CCTV recognition that can identify you by the way you walk, a social credit score system that controls where you can take your kids to school, where you can travel, and where you can get a job. This is China's Skynet system. Complete control over its people, and that's the way that we're heading. Every camera feeds into a central AI system. Every online purchase, every social media post, every transaction, every digital interaction, it all gets scored. If you step out of line, maybe you jaywalk, maybe you criticize the government, maybe you associate with the wrong people, and the system will punish you instantly. Travel bans for jaywalkers. Children who are banned from entering school because their parents have low credit scores. Public shaming on digital billboards. And that's just the stuff we know about. But here's what should really scare you. Western governments aren't criticizing this system. They're studying it. The UK's Online Safety Act includes provisions for name verification online. Australia is implementing digital ID systems. The EU is rolling out facial recognition for security. They're not calling it social credit. They're calling it safety and preventing misinformation. And we're just protecting the children. But this is being exposed. Less than 2 weeks after the UK posted their digital safety thing for kids, they have been found to be taking down news articles. A UK TikTok creator called Dylan Page posted a TikTok about a woman who was alleging assault. No graphic footage, all faces blurred, but it didn't matter. Not because it violated TikTok's already strict policy, but because it violated local law. And this means that not only are under 18s not seeing it, but over 18s aren't seeing it either because it's completely taken off the platform. This isn't a war on disinformation, it's a war on free speech. They prevent themselves and their agendas from being challenged. The EU is literally quoted saying platforms must cut off financial incentives from disinformation actors. Basically what that's code for is deplatforming, demonetizing, and silencing voices that don't comply with their agenda. Moreover, the EU are literally taking their own nations to court, like nations within the EU, if they don't implement this law effectively enough. The UK have their Online Safety Act. Australia just appointed an e-safety czar and are drafting their own Online Safety Act to be implemented at the end of this year. Canada are criminalising speech through Bill C-63, called the Online Harms Act. And the US will start asking for ID on things like YouTube, Spotify, like those very large corporations next month. It's happening all over around us, and no one knows, because the governments control the news, and these huge changes aren't making major headlines somehow. In the UK, Police make an average of 33 arrests per day under online speech laws. 33 people per day. 12,000 people a year are being arrested for things they say online. Australia are launching an online safety bill with the same excuse of looking out for the kids by the end of this year. And guess who's helping to build it? A UK-based company are helping to build the same Australian safety bill after demonstrating that their online safety bill isn't really about helping the kids. So what do you think that means for us here? And this UK company is already looking at ID checks, facial recognition scans, and other methods, all through your phone to check everything you do. Like, imagine every time you use Google, you wanna find something, you have to scan your face with your phone and verify it's you and link your whole identity to your searches. And once the digital infrastructure is there, they can take advantage of it. Even if today it truly is about protecting the children, tomorrow it's about monitoring misinformation, and the next day it's about taking down hate speech. Stories that challenge the government will be removed. It's just a Trojan horse. Protect the kids and the vulnerable. It guilt trips you into agreeing. And the first step in building this system is making sure no communication is truly private. Because right now, governments around the world are breaking down that last wall of digital privacy. Think about every single WhatsApp conversation that you've ever had. Every private moment that you thought was truly private. If these laws succeed, none of it will have any privacy anymore. Governments will read everything you do, store everything, and use everything against you. WhatsApp has threatened to pull out of the UK rather than comply, because they know if they install these government backdoors, then their encryption is really not encryption at all, it's just a security theater. But if other countries draft similar laws, WhatsApp will be forced to listen. Because think about it, if you're WhatsApp, you have like $1 billion company. If you don't do business with any of these large countries, you're going to completely lose all of your money. And you're not stupid. You're not going to do that. You're going to sacrifice your morals. And that's exactly what's going to happen. But breaking encryption is just the beginning. Because once they read your messages, they need a way to control you. And there's one technology which gives them complete control over your economic life. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. They sound boring, geeky, harmless. They're not. A CBDC is basically just digital money that the government gives you. It's like government issued Bitcoin, except unlike Bitcoin, every transaction is tracked, recorded, and linked to your identity. The government doesn't just know what you buy, they can control what you're allowed to buy. The Netherlands had a vote on implementing CBDC, yeah? And the majority of the parliament voted no. But guess what? The Minister of Finance went to the EU without permission and signed the waiver saying, yes, we want to do it anyway, because she thought it was important. The EU opinion polled all the different countries, people in all the different countries making up Europe, and the majority of the replies were negative, saying, no, we don't want CBDCs. They asked them if they wanted them, but they're drafting the laws anyway. Why? Because they don't care whether you like it or not. They just pretend to. The UK have just passed a new law on bank account monitoring. It gives the government power to freeze your bank account if you owe £1,000 of tax or more. They can just take the money of your account. Like, I'm not saying that tax evasion is good by any means, but I think it's very, very scary to have the government just bring money out of your account. Because it starts with tax evasion, but then what? Again, you say something nasty on Instagram, or you called some woman fat in the comments, or you made like some dark humor joke. Oh, we're going to fine you £300 for that. Because your social media account is linked to your digital ID, which is linked to your central bank digital currency, your CBDC. They see the negative comment, the AI flags it as inappropriate, and the fine is automatically taken out of your account. Just like that. No free speech. No opinions. That's the world which we're headed towards. Imagine being limited to buying only 1 kilo of red meat per week, or like 2 pieces of clothing per month. They're talking about carbon credits now. Basically, how everything you buy is linked to its carbon emissions, and you can only buy a certain amount of carbon emissions per month. And once you go over, if you're using your CBDCs, you get cut off. You can't buy anything anymore. Like, isn't that ridiculous? In the name of saving the environment, they just restrict what you can eat, what you can wear. And the cook thing is, the people drafting these laws, the rich people, they're not going to suffer. because they're going to allow these carbon credits to be bought and sold. So poor people are going to sell their carbon credits because they're desperate for money. Rich people are going to buy them because they don't care. And then rich people who are drafting the laws are just going to live their lives killing the environment anyway, and the poor people are going to suffer. Or imagine being forced to spend all of your savings before a certain date because the economy's struggling. So the government just says, right, yeah, you got to spend £1,000 or it's gone out of your account. This is all possible with CBDCs. They're the opposite of cash. They're the surveillance disguised as innovation. And when you combine tracked money with tracked messages with tracked behavior, well, let me just show you some of the stories of people who don't realize the cost of living in a surveillance state. An Australian doctor, Jareth Koch, was just deemed unfit to practice medicine ever again. He had 0 patient complaints, no malpractice in 15 years. Yet, he had about 15 social media posts. Not shared in public mode, by the way, private social media posts, but these were enough to brand him unfit to practice medicine in Australia. Most of these posts were political satire. He was a Christian conservative, so a lot of these things would be about there being only 2 genders, or they'd be against transgender surgery on kids and stuff like that. Now, political opinions aside, he had to go to uni for 6 years. He had to pay a bunch of student loans to the government, giving them a bunch of money. He's treating people on a daily basis, improving their health. But because of his own opinions, expressed not to his patients, but privately on his own social media page, he's faced a 6-year suspension while they're reviewing evidence. So start of 2019, he stopped getting money. Yeah, while they're reviewing evidence. They didn't tell him how long it would be, just, we need to gather some evidence. 6 years later, as of last month, he officially lost his right to practice medicine in Australia. He's forced to retrain, to get a new career. All of this, while supporting a family and paying off a mortgage. He has to retrain and get a new career. Teachers fired for decade-old tweets. Employees terminated for private group chats. Students expelled for social media activity. Lives destroyed, not by crimes, but by social media footprints and by supposedly quiet and private conversations. Every click, every like, every message you've ever sent is a potential weapon against your future self. Companies are now scanning social media before hiring. Schools check applicants' online history. Landlords reviewing your digital footprint before approving leases. In Australia, social media is now routinely used in employment disputes. In the US, background checks increasingly include digital forensics. In the UK, online activity is considered in everything from university admissions to loan applications. Imagine applying for a loan, but it's like, oh no, sorry, you posted something against transgender kids surgery 5 years ago, so you're not allowed to get a loan. Like, that's so possible, and we're already seeing signs of that right now. Your past is always with you now. Every mistake you make is permanent. Your privacy is a luxury you just can't afford. And this surveillance isn't just theoretical anymore. It's being weaponized in courtrooms every single day all across the world. Because while people are losing their jobs over tweets, something even more sinister is happening. Your private conversations, the ones you thought were completely confidential, are now being used as evidence against you. Remember that time that you vented to ChatGPT about wanting to quit your job? Or you asked for advice about that argument with your spouse? Or maybe you sought help with something even more sensitive? Every word is stored. Every conversation is logged. Any lawyer, any prosecutor, any judge can demand to see it all. But that's just the beginning. Because while you were worried about your AI conversations, your entire home was building a case against you. 2019, New Hampshire, a double murder case. The prosecutor's star witness, not a person, but an Amazon Echo that recorded everything. It didn't just hear the murder. It testified voice recordings, timestamps, even the defendant's stress patterns in his voice when he committed it. The jury heard it all. Conviction secured. Your smart thermostat knows when you're home and when you're lying about it. Your doorbell camera captures every visitor, every argument, every late night departure. Your smart TV records what you watch and when. In courtrooms all across America, right now, smart devices aren't just evidence. They're witnesses, And they never forget, they never lie, and they never protect you. A man's smart water meter proved that he was washing blood down the drain. A woman's fitness tracker proved that she wasn't jogging when she claimed to be. A couple's smart light system revealed their bedroom activities to a jury in a custodial battle. All of this surveillance, all of this digital testimony, it only works because we've built our entire lives over devices that are always watching, always listening, and never forget anything. And we invited them in willingly, one little convenience at a time. So here we are, 2025, the year privacy died, and people didn't even notice the funeral. Your speech is monitored and sent to the government. News articles are being taken down. Your smart home is a witness. Your money will be programmable, and your digital footprint follows you everywhere. We're not sliding towards surveillance. We're already there. We're not heading towards a surveillance state. We're living in one. The only question is, will people wake up before it's too late to change course? Big Brother is watching you. George Orwell wrote that in 1948, imagining 1984. He was off by about 40 years though, because it's not Big Brother that's watching us. It's Little Brother. In our pockets, on our wrists, in our homes, in our cars. It's everywhere, tracking out every word, tracking out every move, and storing out every secret. And we invited them in. So I'll leave you with this. If this is what 2025 looks like, imagine what 2030 will look like, 2050. So what do you think? Am I being too paranoid, or are we truly heading towards a surveillance state? Drop a comment below. I read every single one. And if this video opened your eyes to something you didn't know, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. And if you want to stay informed about how technology is reshaping our world, both the good and the terrifying, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Because whether you're watching or not, they're always watching you.